my primary issue, as you may know.
No. Just to introduce you, this lady leads a group of veterans, administration and defense, Department of Defense whistleblowers. So she's a real veteran of the issue.
So, and my background is in mental health. And so what I have seen in some other segments, because I was at the Pentagon and we have, there are DoD schools, the DoD education activity. And I know from that experience that we were required to track certain problematic behaviors among students. What I was always interested in was suicides. So we know that young people and younger people as young as 6 years of age die by suicide. We know that the school districts are supposed to be tracking those kinds of related events, like what leads to a suicide. Is that being done in Montgomery County or in Maryland in general, looking at those correlations between some of these problematic behaviors, substance abuse, drug abuse, suicide attempts, and potentially domestic violence and sexual abuse in the schools? Because many children who are abused outside of their homes as well. That might be a big question.
Yeah. Am I still?
You want to answer that because you're the most qualified.
So I'm the person they were talking about that has been fighting the schools for 5 years to uncover this and try to get some justice done. You asked a multifold question. Is there research behind linking child abuse to substance abuse, suicide, all those things? Absolutely. There's research on that at a national level with the ACE studies, the Adverse Childhood Experience studies, with direct links to a whole host of negative outcomes, health consequences. In terms of what Montgomery County's tracking, Montgomery County had a database of 222 people they suspected, staff members they suspected were sexually abusing children, that they never reported to police or child protective services until they mentioned it in a meeting I was in. And I turned that all over to the police and, well, I turned it over to the media. And the media, because of that, they claim they turned that all over to police and child welfare. Montgomery County is not tracking, as far as I know, or they're willing to release that data. They won't even do things like release, with the 55 known offenders that I'm aware of, 55 in the past about 10, 12 years, they won't release the data on all the schools they were in. They won't release the data on where all the programs they were in. They don't, when they find out that one of the people was John Vigna and Cloverly, they did not send letters to the middle school and high school for the kids that had graduated from the elementary school. They're not sharing the information people need to protect kids and get kids help to lessen that trauma so we don't see those later consequences. They're not linking their sexual harassment policies with their child abuse policies. So while kids are being told, tell a trusted adult, call authorities, which was not the case. When I got involved, I can show you superintendent's memos to staff, do an internal investigation first. That blatantly violates federal and state laws. So on paper now, they're telling kids and families to report to authorities first. This is their public line they toe. But their sexual harassment policies still say on the website right now, if you're a student, it's prohibited for staff members to have relationships with you. Well, that's not a relationship, that's sexual abuse. And it says report to principal or guidance counselor. So they're still telling kids to report crimes internally. They will not, I filed freedom of information requests, they will not release any data about sexual harassment cases, policies, trainings, won't even redact. I went back and I said, just give it to me, just black out everything but the date, who it was sent to, and who signed it. Black out everything out. No, won't release it.
But aren't there federal requirements to report certain adverse events in schools?
So I'm a social worker who would rather be home on my couch with a book. There probably are. And if people here know about them and can help us push back and help shake this information out, we'd all be deeply appreciative. I do a lot of prevention trainings. The prevention training Bailey mentioned he went to, I taught pro bono. I frequently, over the past 6 years, have had Montgomery County school teachers come up to me after trainings and say, "You would not believe what's happening in my school. I have been told I will be fired if I report this. I have been told I will lose my job. I have been told I will be sued." Multiple teachers over the years have told me these things. Multiple people have come, multiple staff have pulled me aside. The task force they formed, which a Board of Education member later told me, they formed that task force because they thought it would shut you up, Jennifer. And I said, but they're literally handing me evidence of crimes in the meetings. I had people come up to me after that, don't stop, you have no idea how bad it is. So I pray that every single one of you shares the information and these numbers far and wide, because I still have my kids in MCPS schools. I'm a graduate of MCPS schools. Most people there, I think, are good, kind, honorable people, but this is not right. And there needs to be more than, I'm so deeply grateful for the Civic Federation for shining a spotlight on this. We need a lot more help. We need the whole community to stand up and roar, because kids cannot speak for themselves. This is shameful and disgusting. And I'm very grateful to the Civic Federation, and I'm very grateful to GAP. And I'm grateful for all of you to let me stand on my soapbox one more time.